Hi y'all, I'm Catherine, and it is time. It is time for me to talk about my Seint eyeshadows. I usually get on here and talk about the complexion products, the 3D foundation, but it's time to talk eyeshadow. I love eyeshadow. I am a Seint artist, but I like to call myself a Seint Makeup enthusiast. I love talking about this makeup. I love makeup in general, but I mean, this dewy, youthful glow, I just can't get enough of. So I need to switch it up. Eyeshadows. I've never actually done this combination before, so we'll see how it goes. I am gonna start off with kind of prepping my lids. So I'm gonna go in with my highlight shade and blend this in real good. If you're not prepping your lids before eyeshadow, please do so. I think you will see a much better result when you're trying to do eyeshadow. And as our lids start maturing, you know, we need some extra TLC, some extra prepping. There are eyeshadow primers, like eyelid primers you can put down, and I am a huge fan of them, but since this is my first eyeshadow tutorial, I just didn't want to add too much to it. You know what I mean? And I'm going to just use one brush. I'm not even going to get into like my favorite eyeshadow brushes because that could be a whole nother video. So once I have my lid nice and the color canceled out, I like to take either an eyeshadow that's about, you know, skin tone or lighter, or a setting powder, and I just always use our Vanilla Dust setting powder to set my lids. It's just what I prefer, but it's the same concept. You just want to get it nice and smooth because I feel like eyeshadows blend better on a surface that's nice and soft. Okay, Havana, see how it's kind of like a no, not purple at all. I think I was looking at that one. See how that kind of does look like the color of my shirt. That's what I was going for. But this is orangey, and I was actually inspired by this cheek color that I'm really into right now. This is called Saint Tropez, and I am wearing it every day. I love it. It's on the apples of my cheeks today, but that's what made me go after this color called Havana. So I'm gonna, this is the eyeshadow brush, fluffy in. I always tap off the excess, always. And I do have hooded lids. I'm gonna look straight ahead, relax the brow bone. That's really hard for me, and eye open, because I want to be able to see this color as my eyes are open. And then once I have it kind of stamped in place, at that point, I'll go through and do windshield wiper, swirly, or if your lids move around too much, you can just stamp the color. You just want to make sure there's no harsh edges. You want to make sure it's nice and blended. I'm just going to do the same on this side. This side I have a little extra problem with. I think my hood is bigger on this side. It always looks like I always have a hard time rounding it out. I like to follow the shape of my brow, and I like to go all the way, almost, not all the way, almost up to my brow. But I like there to be a little space in between. And this side just looks a little brighter, so I want them to match. And I like the bright. It's a pretty June day, very blue skies. I'm in the Midwest. I don't know why I decided to share that, but just in case you want to know what the weather is where I am. Okay, so next is Sedona. Now, I'm gonna flip the brush over. See how this is fluffier? You're gonna get a fluffier, lighter pigment with a dense brush. It's the opposite. You're gonna get a darker, more compacted pigment, and these brushes or shadows are super buildable. Like you'll see, that did not get It looks darker here than it looks on my lid because you can just build up to the color you want. And you'll hear at this point on outer corners, people doing a 7. I guess to me, it's more like a greater than, less than, because, you know, depends on the side of your eye you're doing. But you end up doing like a little sideways triangle. And I even like to make sure I will stop, look at myself, and make sure that color even comes up a little bit. Y'all, whenever I start recording anything, my nose starts running, so you will need to excuse me for a moment. Okay, same thing. I will relax my brow and make sure I can see that when my eyes are open. I want you to see the depth a little bit. And then you can just add as you need to. Okay, so next I'm going in with this color that I hardly ever use. Let me see what the color of, oh, this is Riviera, I believe. Of course I can't read it, but yes, Riviera. So what I'm gonna do is very gently. I mean, see how pretty that is? I don't want it to be like a ton of sparkle. So I'm gonna start over here where closer to where that Sedona is and overlap it a little bit and then bring it into my inner corner. And I'm not even hardly, I mean, I'm just tapping into it. You could get a much more pigmented application of this if you wanted to, but I just want it to be a very soft, and same thing. I'm gonna overlap it with that Sedona and then bring it towards my inner corner. And if one side gets a little bit more pigmented, you just add. Y'all, my air conditioning is about to come on and it's really loud. I live in an old house, loud air conditioning. But at this point, I will take that fluffy in and just do a nice little blend. Like so. And there's this color, Rome, right here. And it is just a beautiful, it's beautiful for the lid, and it's a nice subtle inner corner shade because that Riviera is more intense in my opinion. I wanted to do Rome, which is a little less intense, but still considered a shimmer. And then I'm gonna take, I forgot to do my lower lash. I'm just gonna take this and back into Sedona and only do my outer half, maybe even outer third, really. Do that again over here. I don't use eyeliner much, but I do feel like perhaps I need something on my upper lash. Let me look for my liner. Hold on. I don't use it often, so. Okay, I found a liner. Let's see. This is just a cheapy, dark brown LA Girl. Not LA Colors, LA Girl. I find LA Girl at my CVS. So what I'm gonna do is go along my upper waterline right here. I know that it looks kind of weird watching people do this. I don't have a lot of lid space, so I don't like to put much liner on my actual lid. So I like to make it look like I've got liner on my lid by really filling in any gaps from my lashes. And then I like to make sure this little area right here where my lower lash and upper lash meet, I like to make sure that's filled in. Y'all, this look could have been done so fast, but you know, talking and such. I am gonna put on a fresh coat of mascara. I'll be right back. This is a tubing mascara, by the way. If you've heard of Thrive, I believe this is a good dupe for the Thrive. This is the Milani Highly Rated. I like to mimic the colors I have up top on the bottom, so I'm going to take a little bit more of Havana and buff out that Sedona even more. Hey bud, I'm making a video, okay? So then that way I have a little bit of that pretty orange also on the lower. A lot of people will go in with that same skin tone shade and go right under the arch of their brow. I don't love to put shimmer there. So I'm going to just take that same powder and go right under my brow bone and just make sure that there's still that lift that I like. If you want to use that same shade you put on your inner corner under your brow, it'll look lovely. Just personal preference. Step back, make sure you can see the colors you want to be able to see. If you have hooded lids, the colors you put on your lid, like the shimmers, are going to be like a little surprise to people looking at you when you look down, when you're blinking. But look. So that's these 4 colors: Havana, Sedona, Rome, and Riviera. So I will link everything, and yeah, y'all have a great day. Thanks for watching. I'll see you soon.